Hi everybody, Jim Ostrowski with the latest edition of the Liberty Moving podcast from downtown Dallas. I hear roosters. Dallas is an interesting city. A little short on half and half for coffee. Hint, hint. Got some very aggressive drivers at 1:30 in the morning. They have a 75 mile an hour speed limit on the expressway in the city. Which to me makes no sense, but local control. So, I'm just here for the Texas Libertarian Convention. Let me see if I can flip this. Pretty spectacular, though. A nice walkway around downtown. So, I'm going to talk about a topic that's a little counterintuitive, which is unity. You know, I'm pretty, I wouldn't say I'm naive about human nature. And I understand there's going to be divisiveness and partisanship and disputes and so on, and people, that's just in the nature of things. And I've never really been one to sort of kumbaya everybody to death and say, can't we all just get along? But the more I look at the libertarian movement, I think logic calls for sort of a re-examination of this whole issue. The libertarian movement has been divided since 1983. A couple people said online, they were scoffing at that. It was divided in the 70s. Okay, well, the movement started it might have been divided. There's always been some divisions, but one side walked out of the convention, as I recall, in 1983, when they didn't get their candidate elected, and the percentage of the vote went from 1% to two-tenths of 1%, even though we had a very good candidate, David Berglund. So there might have been divisions before that, but there was a major split then. And the funny thing is that split continues. It was between sort of the Cato Institute people and the Murray Rothbard people. A lot of those people have left the scene or left the realm of the living, but they've got ancestors, and actually some of the same people who were involved then are involved now. And so I'm not going to delve into that whole dispute, which was a long time ago. But my point is, I think I didn't run for chair of the party with this thought in mind. But I've thought about it since I got into the race. That basically libertarians are really good at attacking each other, but we're not very good at battling the state. And so I think that we have to sort of re-examine that. I'm not saying there's not going to be disputes over issues, strategies, personalities, but I think after 50 years of not being successful in rolling back the state, I think everything has to be sort of re-examined and frankly just turned upside down and held under a microscope. And one of the things is this constant infighting. So let me break that down. There's going to be disputes about issues. So on that, and there's always been 2 or 3 issues that libertarians fight about: immigration, abortion, other issues. And I think there's no actual way to resolve that other than the realm of debate and logic and fact and argumentation. But since we've been fighting about these things for 50 years and no agreement has been reached as to the, what is the, perfect libertarian solution, I think we just have to agree to disagree, keep debating, keep thinking about it, keep trying to persuade the other side. But, you know, we agree on 95%. And we disagree with the state on 95 to, you know, maybe 100%, depending on your point of view. So I think I think just pure logic calls for a truce on that. And because then, you know, we can work together on the 95% of the things we agree with each other on, and disagree, can, you know, agree to disagree on the others. But, you know, the bottom line is, right now the party has no power. We do not have a single public official in office at the statewide level or the federal level. I don't think we have any state legislators at the moment. So really, I think what we need to focus in on is strategy and marketing. And I think these things can serve as unifying principles to get around these divisions. The strategy of direct citizen action, which I proposed in detail, if you look at my memos, my campaign memo is online at X and Facebook. This is something that can bring the movement together, because can we all agree, let's talk about marketing. Can we all agree that the word libertarian is not well understood by the public? And you can argue about, well, do we need an expensive brick and mortar Hall of Fame or some other idea? I don't know. I think we do need sort of a brick and mortar Hall of Fame that would highlight the historical contributions of libertarians throughout history who might not have been called libertarians. This is the whole point. This is the whole point. People think that the libertarian movement started in 1971 or 1969, depending on how you count. Sorry about that, it's signal interruption. It started in 1646 with the levelers in England. And far from being a movement that has accomplished nothing, we accomplished a lot. In fact, I would argue, and I say this as sort of a hypothesis, I haven't really proven it. I would challenge starting to rain a little bit. I would challenge the other ideologies, the other political movements. What the fuck have you guys done? What have you done? Libertarians did a lot. They created the United States, in my opinion. I think that's clear if you look at the Declaration of Independence, if you look at the first inaugural. Jefferson was a libertarian. Yeah, it's starting to rain. I'm just going to keep plugging away. It's just water. The Bill of Rights. In my book, Progressivism, I'm not going to bore you with all the details here. For the first time that I'm aware of, somebody listed all the accomplishments of the historical liberty movement. And there's like about 15 or 20 of them. Just for example, free. Sorry, I got another signal interruption. Very annoying. Can't control that down here. The free movement of people. Now we argue about immigration, but the fundamental. Talk about immigration some other time. The fundamental right. There is a natural human right of very noisy. There is a fundamental natural human right. Wow, the loudest radio I've ever seen in a car. Okay, great. Love it. Love Latin music, but not during my podcast. Okay. There is a fundamental human right to move your carcass around the earth to better your situation or to escape tyranny. The exact parameters of that right, does that include a right to be a citizen of some country that you've been in for 2 seconds? Well, you can tell by the way I phrased the question. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But that right of just free movement that a lot of our ancestors exercised to get the hell out of Europe. My ancestors did. They escaped tyrannical empires in Europe. But my point is, I'm not going to go off on a tangent on all the accomplishments of the liberty movement, but we should all agree. Can we all agree in the liberty movement? We disagree on all these other things, personalities, strategies, certain issues. Can we all agree that we need to enlighten the public as to the accomplishments of our movement? We can agree on that. That's a unifying principle. Can we all agree that voting with your feet is more effective than ballot box voting, which doesn't appear to be effective at all? Can we all agree on that? So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of reasons why I think the movement needs to reconsider this idea of unity. Now, there's some people who, if people don't go along with some sort of an effort to have a truce and to work together to increase liberty against the enemy of liberty, which is the state, at some point I think you have to question, are these people really libertarians? Maybe the problem is they're really not libertarians. And that's something that I understand. The music's not going away. It's testing my ability to concentrate. But I'm nearing the end. But really, I just wanted to point out, wow. Yeah, the nice music. It's really interfering. But in any event, my point is that running for chair of the party, and I've been on the receiving end of some of these personal attacks, and I'm thinking, like, really, like, what is this all about? It's like it's like high school. It's like, oh, this guy's not in my faction. He's running against a friend of mine, so I'm going to go on the internet and trash him. Somebody who's been in the movement for 46 years, really devoted my whole life to the movement. I'm not saying everybody has to genuflect and kiss my ass. I'm just saying, can you treat other people, me and other people? And I've treated my opponents with respect. I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for my ideas. So instead of trashing me or any other candidate, why don't you just put your platform forward? Show us how you're going to increase liberty. And it's another thing. I'll close on this thought. There's a lot of virtue signaling going on, obviously. There's a lot of virtue signaling. People say things to, like, say, wow, look at how libertarian I am, and what a good guy I am. You know what? Stop that bullshit. Stop that bullshit. The only thing I really want to know in the liberty movement is, are you increasing liberty? Are you increasing liberty? Is trashing other libertarians on one or two issues or whatever, are you increasing liberty, or are you just making yourself feel good? So I know this has been a little rambly, some interruptions with the rain, and some very loud but very beautiful Latino music. I love it. I love all that stuff. I love Latin culture. Not when I'm doing a podcast, though. But I hope I've gotten my point across. I'll pursue this theme as I go to the final conventions and up in Michigan. And it's really something I kind of thought of late in the day. But I'm going to be talking a lot more about it, hopefully in the future a little bit more coherently when I'm not in a rainstorm and being besieged by loud music. So from Dallas, Jim Ostrowski, candidate for chair of the Libertarian Party. I will be in Ohio, and I will be in Iowa, and I, of course, will be in Grand Rapids. I'll have a table there. Very expensive doing all this stuff. So if anybody wants to buy some books from me in Michigan or online, I also have a donate bar at Give, Send, Go. It's called Gym for Liberty. But thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks. Bye.